algebra students. Today your video is over section 9-5, which is solving quadratic equations by graphing. Alright, so what we have been doing is taking functions that look like y equals x squared plus 4x minus 6. We've been taking these equations, plugging them in our graphing calculator, seeing what the graph looks like, finding the vertex, axis of symmetry, max, min, all of those things. Now we're still going to be taking these quadratic equations and we're going to be graphing them using our graphing calculator, but now we have this new word solving in the problem. So we are going to take a quadratic equation like x squared plus 4x minus 6, and now we're going to set this equation equal to 0 now so that we can solve for the values of x. So I want to know in this equation right here, what values of x make this equation equal 0? I'm looking for that. It's either going to be one value, two values, or no values. These are called the zeros of the function. We've done that before, right? We found the zeros. That's exactly what we're doing here. We're just solving an equation. So here, this equation, in the past, you would have just been given something that looks like this. Y equals 2x squared minus 18. But now, since we're solving this equation, we're substituting y for 0. So all of our equations need to equal 0. We need to manipulate the equation so that it equals 0. Now, I'm going to take this equation right here and plug this into my graphing calculator and find the zeros. Okay, so I pulled up the textbook website's graphing calculator so that I could plug in the function into my y equals so that I could see a picture of the graph. I'm looking for the zeros, so I see 1 0 right there and 1 right there. So my answer here is x equals -3 and x equals +3. Those are the solutions to my quadratic function 2x squared minus 18. If I plug these into my quadratic, let's see if they work. 2 times -3 squared minus 18, does that equal 0? Well, -3 squared is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 minus 18 is 0. So this answer does in fact make my quadratic equation work. When I plug in x equals +3, if I just change this up a bit here, +3 squared is still 9. 18 minus 18 is 0. So do you see how these are the two values of x that make my equation true, that make it equal 0? Okay, let's look at the next one here. Notice how it does not equal 0. So I'm going to change this equation to get it to equal 0. I'm going to do that by moving this -2x squared over to the other side, and it's going to go in the front since it's the highest exponent. So +2x squared minus 12x plus 18 equals 0. Now I'm solving this quadratic equation. I plug it in my calculator to find what the zeros are. Notice in this picture here, whoops, I think I typed this in my calculator wrong. Okay, yeah, either way. So I chose to keep my -2x squared where it is, and I moved these other things over. I did plus 12x and minus 18. So my equation that I plugged in the graphing calculator was this one that I'm writing right here. Whereas the way I just did it in the video a second ago with this equation, I made the 2x squared positive. It's just simply a difference of being concave up or down. So notice if I graphed this, it would look like this, you guys. But guess what? The solution is still the same. The solution is still right there at x equals 3. There's only 1 0, and it is x equals 3. What that means is there's only one value of x that makes this equation true. Not 2, only 1. Okay, so clearly, we've seen here, it doesn't matter which way we typed in the equation, it's the same thing. We still got them both to equal 0, and we got the same exact answer. Just one was concave up and one was concave down. Here's Coach Wallace for your last example.
Hey guys, we're going to do a word problem. What if a dolphin jumps out of the water? The quadratic function y equals -16x squared plus 32x models the dolphin's height above the water after x seconds. How long is the dolphin out of water? So we're going to take this quadratic function here, and I'm going to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to say 0 is equal to -16x squared plus 32x. I'm just going to plug this function into my graphing calculator, which I've done over here, and I see the lovely quadratic. I also see that it has 2 zeros. and I see that they are at 0 and at x equals 0 and x equals, I believe that's a 2. So now let's see if they are true. Negative 16, 0 squared, plus 32 times 0 is in fact equal to 0. And the second one is 2, so negative 16 times 2 squared plus 32 times 2 equals 0. So I have to square my 2. That's going to give me negative 16 times 4 plus 32 times 2 is 64. So negative 16 times 4 is negative 64 plus 64, in fact, equals 0. So my zeros are x equals 2 and x equals 0.
How long is the dolphin out of the water?
The dolphin is out of the water for 2 seconds because I noticed that the distance here, he comes up out of the water, he's back into the water at 2 seconds.